I'm Regan Yan from Digital Alchemy, and I'm here with Justin Theng from SaaS. And today we're going to talk about how customer analytics inspires a creative curiosity.
Yeah, it's what's the current mindset? I mean, you wouldn't think that analytics inspires curiosity, right? How does analytics, how does data empower curiosity? Because it's just giving you facts in black and white.
Well, it's actually worse than that, Justin. I mean, often people think that analytics and creativity are at, conflicting ends.
Mm.
So people think that, analytics is something done by, left brain people, creativity is something done by right brain people, and never the two shall meet.
I
But
think that's so funny because it's like people don't actually walk around with half a brain. Nobody is just left brain or right brain, you know? It's like well, I guess some cultures around the world are more engineering, black and white, logical, and others are more I don't know. I'm just spitballing. I don't want to say which cultures, but I've got it in my head.
yeah,
But
I think that's got a lot to do with education.
that's a lot to do with education and actual upbringing and culture and what's been valuable. But I guess my point is this: everybody has some level of creativity. Otherwise, you wouldn't go watch a movie because you'd be so logical. You're like, this isn't real. I can't be emotionally invested in this, and just nobody does that. So everybody is both left brain and right brain.
But also, I mean, the best analysts that I've ever worked with are creative.
Yeah.
Um, so people routinely think of analytics as a more technical pursuit, but the best analysts are creative.
Right. And
Um,
presenting what you found in analytics requires some level of narrative. It requires some storytelling. Otherwise, um, it's very difficult to make decisions and actions out of it if you don't extract a narrative for what's really happening here. I have a great story, Regan. Um, I've been, super interested in Bitcoin for a very long time and cryptocurrencies, but one of the these moments I think that is pretty typical in Bitcoin that illustrates this point, and we don't want to turn this into a Bitcoin podcast, but uh, around about a couple of weeks ago, there was this huge spike in the price of Bitcoin in like a 24-hour view. It was huge. It was a massive spike. Now, you could look at the chart and say that's analytics. That's like analytics. It's a measurement of something. And you look at
mhm.
the spike, and I got curious, what caused this spike? So I did a little bit of research within the same hour of that spike, and it turns out that all it was Elon Musk had updated his Twitter bio to be hashtag Bitcoin. And that was enough for everybody to think, oh, he's moving into Bitcoin, which he actually was. This was before Tesla acquired a whole ton of Bitcoin. But that caused the spike. Now, the point is this: that's analytics. That's a perfect example of analytics empowering my curiosity. If I
Right.
didn't have something to measure, I wouldn't have been curious about it. Now, I know that we've in previous episodes, Regan, we've talked about your periodic table. That would have been inspired by curiosity, wouldn't it?
Well, it was inspired by our desire to be able to explain things
Right.
that were like the Bitcoin spike. You know, people would have campaigns that worked, and they would have campaigns that didn't work. And people would put them down to, oh, this worked for this reason, this worked for that reason. But most of those reasons were assumptions. And because we're data people, we deal in facts, not assumptions. So we built our behavioral tool methodology around a way of categorizing the response data and the people and the creative, so that we could begin to understand what was going on in these differences between campaigns. So things that weren't in the transactions, like, well, this person did this 30 days before or 15 days before.
Yeah.
We wanted to try to understand, what was at the heart of differences in response beyond the actual targeting, and that's why we.
That's the curiosity component. You said it. We wanted to understand.
Yeah.
And like you said, I mean, there are A/B testing, I guess, is one way of trying to understand that, but you guys just took it to like the nth level. You went over and above and did like many different kind of explanations based on this alchemy of human behavior. I love that.
Well, I mean, one of the reasons that drove us was my dislike of A/B testing.
Yeah,
I
which we've
mean,
spoken about in the past.
as an analyst, as an analyst, it absolutely drives me to distraction that people think that you can explain or get an optimal result with 2 tests. It just
Yeah.
drives me demented.
Well, one of the things that's working really well now out there right now is it's leveraging the AI in like a Facebook ads or Google ads. It's, for example, in Facebook's, it's this CBO, it's campaign budget optimization, where you run dynamic ads, which is like dynamically populated images and text in various combinations and call to actions and descriptions. And then you pit those against dynamic ad groups, where ad groups are like finding different audiences and things like that. And then itself is being optimized by campaign budgets. Now that's like 3 layers of dynamic optimization, and it works so well. It creates super ads, and Google ads is the same, you know? So Regan, this has been really fascinating, and we'll be talking about this soon in an upcoming conference, won't we?
Yeah, so on the 16th of March, we're talking about this at a conference.
That's right. And if you've seen this video after the 16th of March, you're just going to have to get in touch with us directly. That's all we have time for right now. Regan, any final word before we end this one?
I mean, the only thing is, it's really exciting, with analysts becoming more creative
Yes.
with their ideas, because analytics is a creative science.
Wow, I love that. I'm going to use that, Regan. Analytics is a creative science. I love those 2 words together, creative science. Guys, thanks for watching. Regan Yan from Digital Alchemy and Justin Theng from SAS. We will see you next time.
Thanks, everyone. See you soon.